Hey guys, it's your buddy Horseticuffs here, and today after work I was driving home and listening to an episode of Back in My Play by Kevin Larabee, where they were discussing Castlevania 3, I believe, and somebody let it slip, I forget the gentleman's name, about Data East making a beat-em-up that was horror-themed in the 90s. So you understand that ticks off a few of my relevant interests. Data East, beat 'em up, 90s, horror themed, and that was all I had to fucking hear. So after I procured the arcade cabinet in a very short amount of time and went through the gymnastics of hooking it up, wink wink, I'm now playing Night Slashers, which is, I gotta say, very pleasantly surprising to me. I'd never heard about it before this afternoon. Now, today I'm drinking Italian roast. So your three characters you can pick from in this are Jake, who's like he's the bruiser. He's like a big, crazy cock-rock-haired muscle man with robot arms. There's Chris, he's like a traditional vampire hunter, Van Helsing type, who does karate. And then there's the kung fu chick, who I only played for like 30 seconds, and her name I forget, but she didn't leave much of an impression on me, but Chris and Jake sure did. I'm a big fan of frickin' vampire hunters. Like Van Helsing is one of my favorite literary characters, and so if I ever have the option to be a vampire hunter, you're damn right I'm going to take it. So this guy is like a pretty rockin' vampire hunter, and as you can see, the fucking pixel art is fucking amazing. It's like, when I first heard about this, I was kind of picturing bad dudes, bad dudes with like a horror theme, which, while intriguing, didn't really lead me to suspect this. This is some gorgeous shit. It plays like Final Fight. It looks very similar to Final Fight, and I was just in general super impressed in every way. The fucking animation is gorgeous. The backgrounds are awesome. There's a grapple mechanic, although it's not as well spelled out as like Streets of Rage or Final Fight. You just kind of got to know when to do it. I mean, look at those body bags rolling down, and the zombies are awesome in this too. And it's got like a Batman, the TV series from the '60s, like Adam West Batman. Like when you do like a critical hit, it goes like smash or clunk or kerpow or whatever the hell. And look, unlike Knights of the Round where you pick up salads, here you get a real treat, a freaking hot dog. And there are story elements and like little cinematics and crap. Data East really pulled out all the stops. It's like very impressive. Now, you guys know one of the reasons I love arcade games so much is that they are relatively short to play through. They always have the option to continue right where you died, and if you got enough quarters, then you can just pick it right up, And this game has the added benefit of just being, it's like a refreshing cup of tea, like iced tea on a hot day. It's like the difficulty, it's not even there, dog. It's not even there. It's not a hard game at all. Anybody with 45 minutes can beat this, and it's just got a really cool fucking horror motif. Look, we had like a mad scientist type who just melts into goo and bones, and now we're fighting frickin' Frankenstein's monster. That's rad as hell. If you have a horror trope that you just love, it's in this game. I'm telling you. Look, he's wearing like little shocky lederhosen things and blue jeans. It's cool. And we got a nice little lab there in the background. It's like and look, yeah, sometimes if you like hit somebody hard enough with a jump attack, they get stuck in the ground and you just kick them in the damn head a bunch of times. That's awesome. And it's like they made this game, like tailor-made it for me, and I can't believe I just heard about it like in friggin' 2017. After all these damn years, I'd never heard about Night Slashers before They were talking about it on Back in My Play, which is a great podcast. You should really give it a go. And look, I just like pile drive or whatever the hell that wrestling move is. I just pile drive freaking Frankenstein's monster. That's badass. So in the initial parts of this playthrough, I do play a lot of Christopher or Chris or whatever the hell. And see, you got a couple of screen clearing attacks, one that's airborne and one that's land based. But and look how badass that shit is. Look, his little lederhosen fell off and everything. But yeah, I do play mostly Chris because I'm so enamored of vampire hunters. I always have been. But I do give the bruiser Jake a shot. Look, this is cool. So yeah, and this is like not quite the US version. I think it might be the Japanese version because it has red blood. But then again, the Japanese version, instead of saying go like it just did, it says to hell. So I don't know what version this is because it has red blood, but it doesn't have to hell. And I know the standard edition of this, the parent, if you know the parlance of the realm, the parent ROM of this is Korean. So I don't know what the hell version this is. I've got the American and the Korean arcade cabinets here at my home, and good coffee. You know, I don't know, it's like some kind of weird mix, but I'm not bitching. I'm just happy I managed to get the cabinets. Anyways, look at this cool shit. I was beaten up like teenage werewolves in Letterman jackets in the fucking mist-filled woods, which is radical. And now I'm chasing like Dracula in a phantom stagecoach and just like hyper-kneeing, like tiger-kneeing werewolves in the fucking face. And, you know, if you're like a big Dracula fan like I am, Dracula is my favorite novel, you know? It's as far as I'm aware, it's like the birth of the epistolatory story, you know, epistolatory novel. And like fucking Dracula's coach plays a big part in that story, and here I was tiger kneeing fucking werewolves chasing Dracula's coach. That's badass. And look at this boss for you R.L. Stine fans. This is cool shit. We got like a little lovely puppet boy, and he's blue, and he's doing little funny dances and throwing his head around. And you got some kind of Igor motherfucker, puppet master, I suppose. That's another fucking reference right there, Puppet Master. That's really cool. And he's got little shorts and stuff. And I'm still trying at this stage to figure out the continue mechanism and not like lose my continue timer. And I just got suplexed by a puppet boy, which is kind of neat. And I just suplexed him right back. I mean, this game has a little bit of everything, man, you know? I was a huge fan. I mean, the hit detection is good. The combat mechanics are where you'd want them to be. I really have no complaints, except that this game is like so little known. I mean, at least with Knights of the Round, that has the benefit of being a Capcom. Look at that shit. Look at that fucking animation, dog. That is great. That is great. You just melted. Anyways, at least Knights of the Round had the notoriety of being a Capcom game, you know? People are going to find a Capcom beat 'em up from the 90s. That's like their golden era. But this is Data East, dog. I mean, I think it's owned by some insurance firm now or accounting firm. They were talking about it on Back in My Play. It's not even owned by like a real gaming-related company anymore. So, like, who the hell has heard about Night Slashers? I'm pretty deep into gaming nerdery, and I didn't hear about it until today. It's crazy, dog. It's crazy. Get your hot dog, Chris. I mean, it's like, if this had been too hard or too long, that would have been a knock on it. But, I mean, it's like the perfect animation, perfect gameplay. I'm definitely going to come back to this, man. You know, I've been, for the past few days, you notice I haven't, oh, here's a rock golem, those are cool. For the past few days, I've been editing some a couple videos of Shadows over Mystara, the Dungeons and Dragons Capcom brawler, and that's very impressive. And I've been working really hard, cutting and editing, and just making it the perfect length so it's not too long and you guys get bored and don't watch the whole thing. But as soon as I heard about this, I had to go home and play it and like cut and edit the video and beat it and fucking record the narration, because I wanted to bring this to you, the people. All 15 of you. So you just noticed probably another difference that you might not be aware of, or you almost definitely won't be aware of, between the Japanese and the American version of this, which, again, I'm highly suspicious as to what version I'm actually playing, what region, because he's got red blood, everything's got red blood, but when he does his little combo attack, he pulls out a blue crystal. In the Japanese version, he pulls out a cross, which is much more fitting of a vampire hunter. That's kind of their shtick. Now that said, I wasn't going to be picky once I, very obscure cabinet to get, so I was just happy to get any arcade cabinet of this game up and running. Wink, wink. Look, a little bonus level. Look, Hunger Burger, Drug Zombie, Voodoo Shop. And the game is, you just like fucking whack-a-mole, except you're kicking zombie heads off. As many as you can. I don't know how they could have made this game any more perfect, I mean, like, the only way is if it had been a huge hit and there had been a bunch of sequels, and they weren't shit sequels, but they were actually, like, really awesome. They've even got little story vignettes. How cool is that? I mean, I'm sitting here throwing columns around and shit. I mean, I know it's hard for me to say, like, oh, this game sucks, it's got no redeeming quality. I don't like to view the world in, like, black and white, I view everything in a shade of gray, and I'm a fan of most things. I mean, at the very worst, the game is trying to entertain you. Shit, man, I can't hate it that bad. It's not trying to, like, burn your house down, rape your dog, nothing like that. It's just trying to entertain you. So it's like, I don't get too angry at video games, But, like, this is... So I know I'm not exactly I'm not exactly, like, holding back praises for a lot of games, but this is damn near a perfect game. I mean, really, every aspect of it. For me, anyways, it's like, wow. And it even has, like, the characters with hair, even have, like rad 80s hair. I think this was, like, 93 or 94, so I'm kind of surprised by the 80s hair, but it is Japanese, so maybe that was still a thing there. But, like, when you see the cinematics with Jake, the bruiser character with the robot arms, I mean, he totally looks like Kip Winger or some shit. It's crazy. And those dudes in the suit, I'm not quite sure what the hell they're supposed to be. Like pod people, pig men. I don't know. They're just fat, weird guys in suits, I guess. And every beat 'em up has to have an elevator level. But I can't even be mad about that, because you're friggin' pile driving zombies and shit. And it's like such tight gameplay. They really nailed it. And frankly, I didn't expect this level of perfection from Data East. I'll be quite honest, the only things I can tell you offhand that I've ever played from Data East are Bad Dudes, which I do love very much. Like, I have a real history with that game, and Karnov. I'm sure there were other things, but those are the only two things I can remember offhand. So for this to come out of nowhere for me, literally, I mean, in 2017, when I frankly had a really crappy day at work and I was just kind of trying to decompress, really blows my mind, and it's just like such an awesome surprise to find. And you know, this had to be roughly around the time Final Fight came out. I forget, was that 91 or something like that? But you know, all I know is this is some terrific graphics for a beat 'em up, and the animation too. I'm just overall very impressed, and I suggest you guys find a cabinet as quickly as you can. Now, I saw on a bathroom wall somewhere that if you were to emulate this, they suggested you go for an older version of MAME, like 0.164. And like I said, remember that the Korean ROM is the parent ROM. That said, I am totally using an authentic arcade cabinet I picked up on my way home from work. Okay, so here we've got like a kind of a trope, not really a horror trope, but more of a fantasy trope, but still pretty cool. It's like an animated suit of armor and the sword is the actual intelligence, which is cool. And look at this shit. Living paintings. I love that shit. I never get tired of that. The Bruiser guy is a lot of fun. And, you know, I tend to forget I enjoy playing Bruisers a lot. You know, because, like, I just generally always go for the middle of the road character, you know. Your Axel, your Guy, your, trying to think of more, your Arthur, you know. But, no, Jake is a lot of fun, and, like, he's got, like, a little, like, part of his combo is, like a little shotgun blast to the face with his fist, which is cool, and he can, like, suplex shit, and he's got that cool 80s hair and robot arms. And he does like a little spinny shooty thing. He's a cool character, and I enjoy playing him. You know, his jump kick leaves a little be desired. It's like a knee drop, like some Hulk Hogan shit. But it's pretty cool. And one thing I gotta give this credit for, or give this game credit for, if there's one thing you guys know, I'm not a fan of. It's friggin' boss rushes, but this game makes it very tolerable. You know, as we approach a boss rush later on in the video, you'll see they come back. They're altered a little bit. You know, they're a dead version, or they're a little more gruesome, or there's a bit of a palette swap. I forget what I played recently that did that I appreciated. But also they've got like significantly reduced health. So it's not like Beautiful Joe, where like, oh hey, here's the final boss, but before that you gotta fight every other boss and fucking hope you got a lot of shit with you, or else you're fucked, dog. No, it's like we're gonna randomly, well not randomly, but we're gonna intersperse the previous bosses at various points in a couple levels, and it's not all at once, and there's plenty of health, and they look different, and they've got less health, and they're just kind of like cool little fucking trips down memory lane to where you've come from in the game. And look, if you hit people with like your crit attack with this dude, and it happens sometimes with Chris, but more often with Jake, there's some attack he does that occasionally just makes them melt, which is badass. And you know, so often vampire bats in games are just like stupid little black birdie looking things that are just pains in the asses. But the bats in this are big, they're well animated, you know, they have cool death animations, and they're not a big pain in the ass. You know, they're just like any other enemy. You may hear my little furry wolf boy Dover running around here. He's too short to reach the camera, but you can hear him pounding around with his morbidly obese feet and his barrel body. He's running around. And that's my girlfriend laughing. Shut up, hon. Okay, so they never quite tell you what the hell this guy's name is, so I'm just going to call him Dracula. He's a pretty cool Dracula. He's got orange hair, and he's wearing Halloween colors, so I really do appreciate that. Dover, damn you. Okay. And he's got bats that hang out with him, which is cool. But, you know, up to this point in the game, he's ostensibly the big bad in this, and even he's not that friggin' hard. I mean, he's got cool little zombie dudes that come out. and like, or vampire dudes, I guess, and like he's got like bats, but he's mainly just like wandering around, and occasionally he'll slap you, and you guys are just kind of chilling while you kill him, and it's kind of cool. You're on top of a castle. You can't see it, but I'm sure there must be a full moon. It's a cool little fight, but it doesn't ask a whole lot of you. You're just along for the ride. This guy is a cool, like, screen clearing attack. And see, he turns to slop, or ash, I guess. I guess ash would be a better descriptor of that. And look, a lot of games would have just kept the sky dark, but no, the sun came up. That's fucking cool. Only a fool says never. Good advice. That's the last of my coffee, unfortunately. I'm not really sure what the columns... I mean, it seems like there's a lot of things that you could include there for your dude to throw. The columns are like a weird choice, but hey, I'm not picky. I'll roll with it. I'm not a gourmet. This really makes me wonder what other Data East projects are worth playing, that hold up, because this totally holds up. It's 2017 and I'm loving it. This is the female character. I feel like an awful misogynist for not remembering her name, but if she were like a dude, I probably wouldn't remember her name either, because I never liked the little stingy insect character, the little quick little wuss whose attacks don't do shit. Unless you're talking about Guy. I love Guy. But I did give her a fair shot and she didn't impress me. So, like, I have the choice of a vampire hunter or a fucking bruiser dude. And, I love Hager in Final Fight, so I wanted to give the bruiser guy a chance. But here we have some cool, like, little Aztec bosses, which is kind of out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know how you go from major city to Aztec temple other than an airplane, but what the hell, this game's crazy. And these guys are cool. She does have a cool screen clearing attack, I'll give her that. And you guys might notice the flame effects when a character is engulfed in flames, very reminiscent of the Capcom flame. You guys who were there back in the day, you know what I'm talking about. When your character gets engulfed in flame in a Capcom game, it always looks the same. And I've got to believe that's intentional because it's awesome. This is very similar. It took me a while to get what the trick was with this boss. Only one of them actually takes damage. I think. I've got to imagine that. I'm not crazy about the dizzy effect. I don't know if that's only a Chris thing, because like I don't recall ever getting dizzied as Jake. It would be weird if it was only a Chris thing. And that's that. Stage 4 clear. We're moving forward. Hey, I really want to thank you guys for all the views on my Tales from the Crypt leak eyebrow review. That's one of my most popular videos ever, and I sure do appreciate it. Hopefully some of you guys stuck around. I acknowledge that this is primarily just for me and when I force my kids to watch it, but those of you who do watch my videos, I truly appreciate it. I'm not making any money here. This is just to try and bring games I love to people, hopefully just to spread the word, because beat 'em up is kind of a genre that doesn't get bandied about too much anymore, unfortunately, especially 2D beat 'em ups. And there's just something, I mean, of course it's not all I talk about, beat 'em ups, but more often than not, yeah, 2D 80s and 90s beat 'em ups. It's just something I love, man. It's an experience I can't get anywhere else in gaming. You know, I've got an outrageous Steam library, and like fucking, I could be playing a million newer, more complex, more expensive games, but I always just come back to this shit. You know, it's like I love making videos for you guys. See, this is what I said. You got the fucking little. I don't really know why they did that, but that was like a little preview of the boss rush. Yeah, see right there, and just kind of randomly spaced throughout the level so as not to be a pain in the ass. But he's a different color. You'll notice. And you know they do have a couple more tricks up their sleeve, but they're not hard. But like I said, you know, it's a very impressive game. Figured maybe I could hop on there, but you know, I love a good suplex. Speaking of beat 'em ups, I also downloaded the rather hard to find lately Streets of Rage remake. That was a fan project that luckily got released before Sega DMRC'd it, or DMCR'd it, you know, or whatever they have to do, Digital Millennial Copyright Act bullshit. Anyways, it's almost impossible to find it on the web now, and luckily I found it. I hope I didn't download any crazy viruses, but I tried it out, and it's very impressive. You know, I highly suggest you guys give that a go. Try and find it. I'm probably going to do a video on it at some point. There's like hundreds of levels, of fan-made levels, which is radical as hell. It's almost never ending. But I'll probably just give it a run through at some point, you know? I don't intend to make a video for the whole thing. Now, check this shit out. Look at that. Look at that. That's a sarcophagus. And you know what's coming, dog. You're in an airplane full of fucking werewolves and zombies. Now, this also makes me think, you know what movie had a fucking sarcophagus in an airplane, in a bomber, in like a World War II bomber, motherfucker? Do you know? Fucking Monster Squad. That's right, I know somebody out there got that. Fucking Monster Squad had the mummy sarcophagus in a fucking airplane. So fucking, if this is like a legit callback to fucking Monster Squad, I will be highly impressed. That and Friday the 13th Part 6 were the first two movies I ever rented on VHS. This mummy's got some pretty sick moves, though, I'll tell you that. All kinds of crazy kung fu kicks and shit. And, you know, what's cool is he's not like all wrapped up to where like he just looks like a traditional mummy. He's got like a lot of rotten bits showing. He's wearing the cool little, you know, pharaoh headdress bullshit. They put a lot of effort into this game, and the motherfucker just suplexed me. Motherfucker, I'm a robot. I'm like a cyborg dude who just got suplexed by a fucking mummy in a bomber. And I just shot him in the face with my shotgun hand. That's pretty badass. Hey, seriously, I got no complaints. And, you know, he kind of reminds me of a cartoon I used to love in the 90s when I was probably a little too old for it. But, and it would have made an awesome beat-em-up, too, if they'd ever made one. Mummies Alive. Mummies Alive was a great TV show. I'm sure it's all over YouTube. You should give it a shot. I should see if the kids want to watch it. That would be fun. A few years ago, I got them really fucking hardcore into Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? And they still love that shit. We really enjoyed seeing the Goosebumps movie a couple years ago. I didn't really grow up with Goosebumps, which is strange because you'd think I would. No, this is like a shot put or some shit with the zombie. It's kind of cool. It took me a while to realize what button on the arcade cabinet actually did that, but yeah. But anyways, sorry about that. But yeah, I didn't really grow up with Goosebumps. It was maybe a little after my time, but I did love the hell out of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Stage 6. And we are approaching the end of the game now. Yeah, we've only got just over 12 minutes left, guys. Thank you for hanging in there. I try and bill myself as the antidote to the average YouTuber. I'm not all up in your face and shit, screaming and doing wacky hijinks and shit. You know, I just want to introduce you guys to cool shit that I love. In like a laid-back manner, you know, cup of coffee, just chill, man. Get over, you fat turd, I love you. And this stage definitely has like a fucking death. That's rad. And here comes another part of our little boss rush. But look, he spawns with half health. This isn't on easy mode or anything. This is just a standard game, which is coconuts, man. But it's appreciated that they don't fucking push you too hard. Especially being an arcade, they could have. You know, just throw more quarters at them. But I digress. You know, this game has a real respect for the player's time. And their money. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. I am, right now, motherfuckers, fighting a fucking phantom helicopter. I don't know how the fuck a helicopter has a ghost. And that really brings up some interesting concepts about the immortal soul. But sure, why the fuck? Let's roll with it. Fucking helicopters have souls, and this one's dead, and it couldn't get into heaven or hell. And so now it's fucking here fighting me. Sure, let's go with that. And even though the helicopter is a ghost, obviously the ammunition it is shooting exists on the mortal plane. I don't know, dog. Seems kind of shady to me. But fuck it, I'm a fucking hair metal guy with robot arms. So who the fuck am I to talk? I really wish I said to hell though, damn it. A few years ago, I addressed my one of my Christmas gifts to my girlfriend with "From Hell," you know, which is what Jack the Ripper signed. One of his biggest letters to the, I think it was to the chairman of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee with that one. Yes, it was. It was. He was the chairman of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, and he signed it "From Hell," Jack the Ripper. Which, I mean, hey, the Ripper was an asshole. He killed sex workers, but if you're going to write a fucking letter to the head of a vigilance committee that's trying to bust your chops, signing it "From Hell" is pretty fucking awesome. So I always have a soft spot in my heart with stuff signed to or from hell. And look, they brought back the first boss, Dr. Ripper, and he fucking is a zombie dude now, which is cool, and his scalpels somehow set you on fire. This game requires a bit of a suspension of disbelief. But look, like 10 good punches and he's down. Now I will say this, the only thing I can think of that would make this game better, other than a bunch of sequels that didn't suck, is if the characters had names, like the enemies had names, and a health bar. I want to see these characters' names, I want to see their health going down. I love that in games, you know? Final Fight, Streets of Rage, it helps give the enemies personality. You know, even Knights of the Round, even though they didn't get like too creative, you know, I mean, those guys in the suits would have been called Fat Man at the very least. I don't know whether there's a locker in the middle of some kind of fucking infected laboratory or space station or whatever the fuck this is, but okay, yeah. And a little description. I mean, I don't know what the hell that blue vial is supposed to do, but this game is just kind of weird. There's a lot of weird little things like that. Items that you're not quite sure what they're going to do. This is a pretty cool looking death, though. And here's our vampire friend. Now, he doesn't look any different, to to be quite frank. That's disappointing. Could have given him gray hair or something. But, you know, the health is so short. It's, you know, it's not even worth, like, complaining about. And I just got to suplex fucking Dracula, which is awesome. You show me a Belmont that has ever suplexed Dracula, and I'll fucking owe you a Coke, motherfucker. Look, and I'm just slamming him. I don't even... See, like, this game could do with a little more explanation. I don't know how I just picked him the fuck up and just slammed him a million times into the ground. And here's death. This game just makes me want a Castlevania beat 'em up more now more than ever. And I don't mean that shitty fighting game for the Wii. Although I am intrigued. I might like to try that at some point. I'm a big Castlevania fan. You know, just of course the gameplay, but the motif as well, you know. The animations on Death are great. He reminds me a lot of Skeletor. You know, it's like if you hit him hard enough, his robe goes falling back and he looks all bald and Skeletor-y. And, you know, Skeletor is one of the great fantasy villains of all time, I guess, I would say. He's like Starscream. Starscream were a skeleton wizard. And what wouldn't be better as a skeleton wizard? Of course, there was the He-Man reboot where he was a space skeleton wizard samurai, which I'll have to admit is definitely better than a regular skeleton wizard. Oh shit, I need to get a Saturn so I can play Skeleton Warriors for you guys. That's a great game. Oh, he's just waving you off like some kind of pimp or something. No. You show. Go on, bitch. Nevertheless, I don't think Death is prepared to deal with my hundreds of dollars in quarters I've pumped into this game in my cabinet. Stage 6 clear. And we are rocketing toward the crypt at an alarming rate. Fuck yeah. Teenage punk werewolves. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, if you're a werewolf and you are like protecting a lair of a more powerful creature from somebody who's coming to kick his ass to death, I don't know why you would be hanging out in non-wolf form, just like chilling. But I'm not a werewolf, so I don't know. Maybe it hurts or something. Look at this final boss. That's awesome. It's like some kind of possessed friggin' cyborg skull thing. King Zurutz. Go on back to the Halloween party. It's house cleaning time. That is some John McClane shit right there. I'm gonna have to use that on my kids. Going back to the Halloween party. Look at his guts. That's really cool. You see like little throbbing lungs and heart and shit. It's like Krang, only cooler. Well, it's like Krang and Ed 209 meets Satan. Come on, damn you. I mean, they really did think of everything with this game. Even, like, you'll see here in a few minutes, the ending which is coming up in about probably 2 minutes. Even the ending is fucking like way more complex than like Final Fights or Streets of Rages. Well, maybe not Streets of Rages, but I don't know. It's just more than you would expect from a 90s beat 'em up, especially from a B-tier company like Data East, you know? But it does make me realize I need to try Two Crude Dudes, which is kind of like a pseudo-sequel to Bad Dudes. I'm of the understanding that they did not successfully rescue President Ronnie for long. It was long enough for that cheeseburger, I guess, because evidently Two Crude Dudes is post-apocalyptic. And look, I just picked that fucker up and just tossed him. Like a rotten apple or something. Come on, Jake, we got work to do. That is his air super. Look, and he's gone. But now, we've got another escape level. Come on, Jake, you can do this. Oh, fuck, he's chasing us. Or, I guess, trying to block us, to be more precise. Never fear. We will get through this. We shall endure. Look, he's fucked now. He's totally fucked. Toad's fucked. We're gonna make it. Hashtag we did it, fam. You earned ascending. Oh, what a heartwarming scene. After everything they've been through together, I don't understand. Oh shit, look. Jake's got a fucking problem. And our three heroes are reunited on two of their wedding day. How charming. The well-paying career of monster hunting. I wish you would go monster hunting again, Jake. I wish you would. Now you guys know how this has to end. Anytime I make it to the save slot. Guys, this has been your buddy Horseticuffs signing off. Thank you so much. Like, follow, subscribe. Love you. Thank you very much.